still think the mighty Karakalkan, I'm no match for you?
Yep.
Solar fire! My soldiers are superior in quantity and quality. It's only a matter of time before your magic power is gone. Do you know who I am? My body can possibly be destroyed! I'm invincible!
I'm invincible! I think I put more emotion into that take than what we just had from here. FYI, this is an official English dub from Crunchyroll. They got a celebrity hire for this. They got an actual celebrity, J Balvin. You know J Balvin from Fortnite? They got him to voice act Tusk in the latest episode, or one of the latest episodes of the English dub for Solo Leveling. And there's been a lot of drama around this that eventually reached my eyes and ears, and I'm going to be honest with you, I wish I could delete this voice acting from my memory. I honestly wish I could, because it is just so awful, and it honestly infuriates me in a different way than normal, that it just, I'm upset, man. So, let's get right into this. Solo Leveling's dub in general isn't necessarily bad. I don't go out of my way to watch Solo Leveling in dub, or most anime in dub. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't. I watch about 99% of all my anime in English sub. Okay, go figure. Makes sense, because I watch on release day. But the thing is that Solo Leveling's dub in general isn't necessarily bad. I mean, I literally show an example here. You literally hear, like, Jinwoo, he starts talking in English, and, I mean, it's not the best voice acting I've ever heard.
So, I'll help them to hurt.
But it's not bad. It's not bad voice acting, okay? Especially when you pit it literally up against Tusk's VA in this episode. It is so... Like, I don't know what kind of effects and distortion they did to his voice or whatever, but it's not good. It's unbelievably bad. Like, there is many scenes within this episode where I'm not even joking. I'm not even trying to play jokes, but legit, it is probably the world's first English dub anime that requires English subtitles to even be able to understand what Tusk is saying, because it sounds so distorted and so bad. And there was people in a meeting room. I want to make sure you get this picture here. There was people in a meeting room, in a company meeting, that approved of this English dub, that sat down and was like, good work. This is good. A-okay. The kids are going to love this. You want to know why the kids are going to love this? Because J Balvin from Fortnite, he's going to be voice acting Tusk. So obviously, the kids are going to love it. The kids are going to praise it. The kids are going to eat that slop up. They're going to have a lot of fun with this scene, because J Balvin from Fortnite is... in it. Now, jokes aside, one of the biggest issues I have with this whole situation is that it's very clear the reason why J Balvin was even hired was because he's a celebrity. He is a celebrity hire. He is someone that necessarily doesn't have a career in voice acting as a professional voice actor. He's released songs and stuff, but he's more or less just a singer. It doesn't necessarily mean it correlates to him being a professional voice actor, and I think that's very obvious just judging by what you witnessed already in this video. And I feel like this showcases an inherent issue that is now growing, not just in the anime industry, but in the industry as a whole, that has been scrutinized and talked about a lot. And that is the fact that a lot of these companies, when they're making animated movies, not necessarily just anime, they like to hire celebrities. And when I mean celebrities, I'm talking about celebrities that are mostly known in live-action films. They hire them because their name carries weight. Their name is very impactful or very powerful or whatever. They can sell more copies, so to speak, to the people that support those said actors. But the thing is just because they're live-action actors doesn't necessarily mean that they're good voice actors, especially in an animated film or anime. You get the point. But this has been an increasing problem where you see actual celebrity hires instead of actual professional voice acting. This is a constant thing. And this is an indication that, once again, we're going down that route. That we have a celebrity hire J Balvin being hired for an anime character. And I don't think this is a good sign. This is very worrisome because the money that is spent on hiring J Balvin could have been spent elsewhere. Now, I'm going to be completely blunt here. I don't necessarily know who is completely in charge fully for the dub production of Soul Leveling. I do know that Crunchyroll gets the dub. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Netflix gets the dub as well. I don't know necessarily who is in charge of it. I don't know necessarily if it is Netflix that's doing the dubbing with another company, or if it's Crunchyroll doing it internally or with another company. I have no idea. One thing in particular I do know is the one that is directing the dub is this individual right here, which is currently directing the Soul Leveling dub. And for the most part, like I said, the dub of Soul Leveling isn't necessarily bad. And it's very clear that this individual has a long history in the industry since 2004. They have voiced many characters as well over the years. You could just clearly see it right here. The list is massive. So they definitely know how to voice act. They definitely have some insights in the industry. And so it's not something to where this person just came in as a hire because, they were just hired to be hired and they know nothing about the industry, the anime industry, dubbing, or whatever. They clearly know what they're doing. So the dub selection for J Balvin is a very big question mark because it's like, for someone that obviously knows what they're doing, potentially in the industry, why would they hire someone and then approve of just such bad direction for the voice acting for Tusk within the, this episode of Soul Leveling? It's very questionable because it's not good. And I'm not necessarily wanting to blame J Balvin for this because, there is some blame to him. But at the end of the day, it is the dubbing studio, whoever is in charge there in the studio, to coach J Balvin to voice in a certain way, to make sure the takes, the cuts, and everything is good for the dubbing. That is the role of the coaching, okay? That's what they're there for. But, obviously, it seems like whoever was tasked with that duty got very lazy, and they tried to cover up the very poor voice acting skills with distortion and effects and stuff on the voice, which is why Tusk sounds so... like, you can't understand him in a lot of points within this episode. And I'm not trying to be mean, but it is the truth. It is not good dub work whatsoever. And in the last few years, dubbing has gotten a lot better. Pushing aside bias and all that and what the internet likes to say often, dubbing has improved a lot. But this is definitely a showcasing of a step backwards. Not even one step, but 5 steps backwards, because it showcases an inherent issue, not just with dubbing for anime, but for just dubbing for animated films to begin with, because when you start doing celebrity hires, it's no longer hiring people that know what to do, they're hiring them just to spread the name of the product, and they don't really care about how the quality of the said product actually is. And in this case, Soul Leveling takes a massive L for it. Thankfully, Tusk obviously doesn't get to be voiced anymore after this point, but it's not the point. It's really shoddy work, it's very disappointing, and whoever was in the board meeting and all that approved of this should feel ashamed. It's not good. It's not. Anyone with a few brain cells can look at this and be like, it's not good. Obviously, it might not be the worst dub of all time. If I really wanted to scrape the bottom of the barrel, I could find it. But why I think this is personally one of the worst of all time, in my opinion, is because it showcases a new issue that is now arising, not just in the animated industry, but in anime. Like, celebrity hires for voice acting when there is obviously, clearly, better people suited that would cost you less money. Because you know for a fact, whoever got J Balvin, he made the announcement as well to be a part of this, whoever got this to happen, there was definitely a pretty penny. A lot of money that was probably spent to get this man to voice Tusk. J Balvin has, quite an actual lot of sales. 35 million record sales worldwide. He clearly is a very big celebrity. Maybe not the biggest of all time, but he's pretty big. The man's even in Fortnite. So, what I'm trying to say is that, I think that the money that was spent to get him to voice act could have been spent elsewhere for someone that was much better and, to be blunt, for cheaper. Now, I do want to state this, that no hate to J Balvin, okay? I want to say that he's probably a very good singer, and there's a lot of people that love him, okay? But the thing is, just because you're good at singing, you're good at something, you're a professional at something, doesn't mean you're good at other things. It's like saying, because you're the #1 bookseller and the best book writer of all time, doesn't necessarily mean that you could compete with professional athletes. It's just, that's how it is. And it's very clear that J Balvin's, voice acting isn't his strong suit. It could be because maybe he hasn't dedicated a lot of time to it. That's completely fair. But the point of the matter is that it was not good work, okay? And no hate to the man whatsoever, but I do not like celebrity hires being hired for a show just because of their name instead of actually their qualifications for the job. I'm not a big fan of that. I hate that. And I feel like, I'm gonna be honest here. This might sound very harsh, but I think a random person on the street would probably sound better than whatever we got here. I also think that a bridge series sound better than whatever we got with Tusk as well. You can be upset with me on that, but that's my honest piece on the entire topic. I think that in general, that this is a very bad look for English dubs. I think that this makes them take a very bad step backwards and a negative effect. I do think, though, that there needs to be more blowback on this, because I don't want to see just celebrity hires in all of anime just because their name is well recognized and stuff. And don't get me wrong, some celebrities can be good voice actors, but for the most part, they're usually not. They're usually just there to sell a product, and that's it, and it really doesn't contribute anything but, basically just making people tune into it, and, it's a worse product. The quality of it is just less in general. That's my 2 cents. And also, like I said earlier, the money spent on celebrity hires could just be spent in so many different areas to save money, but also just, do a better job production-wise. I don't know, but I'm just being blunt. I'll leave it at that, though. I wanted to talk about this. This really irked me, honestly. Kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I really wanted to talk about it because I just did not like what I heard here. Because Solo Leveling's dub isn't necessarily bad. I wouldn't say it's the best of all time, but it's not bad. But seeing that, it's not a good look. It's not a good look at all. But I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe, stay healthy, and I love you guys. Chibi out.